All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've been going over the PowerPoint presentations for Muroc, Android Programming 2nd Edition by Joel Muroc, and we're in the middle, toward the end really, of Chapter 2, and I've got good news and bad news. The good news is I went back, did some copy and paste and some typing on my own, and I changed so that my activity tip calculator.xml file looks just like the one in the book. I added a dimensions file to set my dimensions, and I changed the string file so it also looks like what's in the book. Well, that's the good news. The bad news is when I got done with all of that stuff, everything is on top of everything else, and I'm not sure what the problem is with that. It's something with the layout, so I'm going to have to go back and take a look at that, but I can't see anything that I've done wrong. So, in your book, in Figure 2.9 on pages 49, 50, and 51, they show the XML for the user interface. That's the code, again, that's in the activity tip calculator.xml file, but that's this code here. Most of this code was generated when we used the graphical editor to go and add our components, but you can also edit this file whenever you want, and that's an example of what I did. At the beginning, and I'm wondering, let's see, I don't see anything there. And I'm looking, and right near the top, I should have a relative layout in there. I believe they have the one in the book like that. That's at the very top, and then this is at the very bottom. Now that could be what's screwing this up. I don't know. That would actually end right here. And that might have to go at the very top. I don't know. I don't even see this in what's in the book. This is an XML header, so I'm going to remove that. All right, so there's relative layout. Support. See, that's not even shown in there. The problem is, and I'm just telling you this right now, the problem is that I'm trying to merge what's in our book, which is a little bit old, with what's right here. And I think, at least, that's why I'm having some problems. Now, at the very bottom here, I've got to put my ending. And I don't think I want that constraint layout that's there. I think I want just an ending relative layout. Well, looky here. That fixed everything as far as the way that looked. All right. So it's a good news, bad news type of situation in that I'm going to have people, I guess, key in everything the way that it looks in the book. Some of the stuff that's in the book might be a little antiquated. All right. So the relative layout that you see on the top, defines a relative layout that contains the widgets for the user interface. We've set the width and the height to use a value of match parent to specify the layout should use the whole screen, which makes sense. All right. And the padding attributes that are in there are going to specify the amount of space between the edge of the layout and its child elements. And that's what's in this dimensions file. And that's 16, got it right here, 16 dp. So that's an absolute amount. All right, there are some XML comments that are in here, and you'll notice that you make XML comments the same way that you make HTML comments, and they appear here to be grayish in color. All right, the first text view sets the layout width and the height attributes to a value of wrap content to specify that they should be just wide enough and tall enough to hold our content. The text that's displayed is grabbed from the strings.xml file. The ID attribute is set. The text size is set to 20 scale independent pixels, and it's also made bolded. And the top attribute is set, so there's 10 dp, so 10 basically pixels of padding at the top. Then we've got the edit text widget. And again, that allows the user to enter a bill amount. The alignment attributes align the editable text view relative to the other widgets. All right. Also, the M's specify that the editable text view should be tall enough to fit 8 M's, or 8 of the letter M. All right. And the input type specifies the soft keyboard should allow only decimal numbers. Okay. The next two text views that are in here define the widgets that display the tip percent. And the next two, then we've got the buttons for the increase and decrease amounts. Then we've got these two for the tip label and the tip amount. And finally for the total label and the total amount. Now, I went over that kind of fast. Sorry if you think I went over it too fast. But we're starting to learn how to use Android Studio to develop the user interface for our app. Right now, if we were to run this, we would display the interface, but it doesn't do anything because we still need to write the Java code to add the functionality, so to speak, for the user interface. And that's what Chapter 3 is about. All right, so far we've gone through here and we have talked in Chapter 1, we talked about what Android was about. And in Chapter 2, we came in here and we looked at some of these common properties. I'm not going to go over those because we just saw them. We looked at wrap content versus match parent. We looked at DP versus SP. And we looked at the actual code that was in here. So in the next chapter, we'll come in and we will talk about adding the code for this. All right, so the author calls this how to finish your first Android app. So we will add the requisite Java code to finish our app, and then when we get done, we'll see how to set up an emulator. And after we set up the emulator, we'll be able to run this program and actually see how it would look on a device. Okay, so I'll be back with that later.